In a world where the skies are clear, the sun is warm, and life seems to go on without a hitch, imagine being the one person who receives a message from the divine. A great flood is coming. What would you do? Would you laugh it off as some crazy dream, or would you build a massive boat in your backyard? This is the story of Noah, a man who faced the unimaginable and somehow managed to pull it off, while keeping a straight face most of the time. In this tale, we'll journey through the epic and often humorous story of Noah's Ark, a story not just of survival, but of faith, resilience, and yes, a bit of comedic relief. Because let's face it, herding two of every animal onto a boat isn't exactly smooth sailing. So let's dive into the ancient waters of history and find out how one man's obedience and determination changed the course of humanity forever. Our story begins in a world much like ours, bustling with life, but also rife with corruption and wickedness. People had lost their way, ignoring the virtues of kindness, honesty, and respect. They were more interested in living it up than living right. But there was one man, Noah, who was different. Noah wasn't just good, he was the best of the best, the kind of guy who'd return a lost wallet with every penny still inside, maybe even polished a little. He lived a righteous life, loved his family, and walked faithfully with God. He was the kind of man you trust with your house keys, your dog, and your deepest secrets. One day, as Noah was minding his own business, perhaps checking on his garden or feeding his chickens, God spoke to him. "Noah, I've got some big news. The world has gone astray, and I've decided it's time to hit the reset button. I'm sending a flood to wipe out all this wickedness. But don't worry, you and your family are safe because you've been a good egg." Now, Noah was a practical man, so when God mentioned the flood, he didn't just nod and say, "Sure thing, boss." He asked the obvious question: how do I survive a flood that's meant to wipe out everything? God had a plan, an ark. Not just any boat, but a massive vessel that would carry Noah, his family, and two of every kind of animal through the storm. God, being the ultimate architect, gave Noah the specs for the ark: 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. For those who aren't fluent in ancient measurements, let's just say it was big. Like, back up your boat into the next county bay. Noah, a man of many talents, but not necessarily a shipbuilder, looked at the plans and thought, well, I did build that tree house for the kids last summer. How much harder could this be? So he got to work. Now, imagine Noah's neighbors. They'd stroll by, see him hammering away at this gigantic wooden monstrosity, and naturally, they'd ask, "Hey Noah, what's with the boat? You expecting rain or something?" Noah, keeping it cool, would reply, "Oh, you know, just preparing for a little divine downpour." The neighbors would laugh, shake their heads, and maybe even place bets on whether Noah had finally lost it. But Noah didn't mind. He had a job to do, and with every plank he nailed into place, he was one step closer to fulfilling his divine mission. Once the ark was complete, it was time for the next step, rounding up the animals. Now this part of the story is where things get interesting. Imagine Noah standing in front of the ark with a checklist. Okay, let's see. 2 lions, check. 2 elephants, check. 2 mosquitoes. Wait, do we really need mosquitoes? His sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, helped corral the creatures. They had to deal with everything from stubborn donkeys to slithering snakes. Picture Ham chasing a pair of goats who decided they'd rather live out their days on the nearest hillside than get on the ark. And then there were the animals that didn't need much convincing. The cows probably sauntered on board, chewing cud and looking around as if to say, "Not bad, Noah, not bad at all." But let's not forget the birds. You'd think they'd just fly over to the ark, right? Wrong. Ever tried getting a pair of sparrows to follow directions? It's like herding cats, except with wings. Noah's patience was tested. But finally, the ark was filled with every creature imaginable, all ready for the ride of a lifetime. With the animals and Noah's family safely on board, God sealed the ark's door. And then, the rain began. At first, it was just a drizzle, the kind that makes you think, maybe I should bring an umbrella, just in case. But soon, it became a torrential downpour, the kind that soaks you to the bone in seconds. For 40 days and 40 nights, the rain didn't let up. The world outside the ark was transformed into an endless ocean. with only the ark bobbing up and down like a colossal cork. Inside, things weren't exactly peaceful. Imagine being cooped up with hundreds of animals, all of them a bit seasick and cranky. The lions roared, the elephants trumpeted, and the chickens, well, they clucked nervously. Noah's family, meanwhile, tried to keep things in order, though it's safe to say that no one got much sleep during those 40 days. Noah, ever the optimist, probably had a few moments where he looked around and thought, well, at least we're all in the same boat. After the rain stopped, the waters didn't recede right away. The ark drifted on the endless sea, with no land in sight. Weeks turned into months, and the once exciting adventure started feeling more like an endless cruise with no destination. Noah sent out a raven, hoping it would bring back news of dry land. But the raven, perhaps enjoying its newfound freedom, didn't return. So Noah tried again, this time with a dove. The dove came back, but with nothing. A week later, Noah sent it out again, and this time it returned with a fresh olive leaf. Dry land was near. There was much rejoicing on the ark. The end was in sight. But Noah, ever cautious, waited another week before sending the dove out one last time. This time, the dove didn't return, a sure sign that it had found a place to settle. Finally, the ark came to rest on Mount Ararat. The waters receded, revealing a fresh new world. Noah opened the ark's door, and the animals, grateful to be free, stampeded out like it was the opening day of a theme park. Noah and his family stepped onto solid ground, breathing in the fresh air. They looked around at the world that had been washed clean, a world ready for a new beginning. Noah built an altar and offered thanks to God for keeping them safe. In response, God made a covenant with Noah, promising that never again would a flood destroy the earth. As a sign of this promise, God placed a rainbow in the sky, a beautiful reminder of his love and faithfulness. And so, from that day forward, the rainbow became a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always a promise of brighter days ahead. Noah's story is not just one of survival. It's a story of faith, resilience, and the power of believing in something greater than oneself. As we go through our own floods, whether they be challenges, hardships, or moments of doubt, let's remember Noah's unwavering faith. Because if a man can build a boat in his backyard and save the world, surely we can weather our own storms. So the next time you see a rainbow, take a moment to reflect. What are the challenges in your life that you need to face head on? What is the ark you need to build? Remember, it's not about the size of the boat. It's about the size of your faith. Let Noah's story inspire you to take that first step, to keep going even when the floodwaters rise. And who knows, you might just find your own rainbow waiting on the other side.